My first question is for Harry. As a new member of the cast, you're coming in as an established character that the world knows. So I'm sure that was nerve-wracking. But also, we saw the return of Evil Morty this season. So what was it like stepping into an established character and having to voice his most evil version, also almost like right away in the story?
It was weirdly freeing in a way. I don't know. It was cool that I was able to play both versions of Morty that really could not be more different from each other. So it to me it felt like cool. I get to run the spectrum, from one end of Morty Prime, our Morty, happy go lucky, to all the way to evil Morty, who is possibly even smarter than Rick and wants to make sure everybody knows it. So to me, it was both a challenge and just an opportunity to really, spread my roots in this character and dig into him and kind of just understand him a little bit more so that I could deliver the best Morty I could to the fans.
Thank you. My next question is for Chris. Um, Jerry has obviously been through a lot through the seasons. He's kind of been put through the ringer. But this season, we kind of got to see him a little bit differently when he melded with Rick. And they were kind of both half Jerry, half Rick. How was doing
Mhm.
that episode compared to the usual Jerry stuff?
It was a lot of fun. It was fun to get to try to emulate Rick as Jerry. Certainly heard Rick for all these years, and so hopefully I did the guy justice. Um, and then doing the Jericky character when we were physically merged into the one thing. Um, I recorded my part first, I think, and then I think Ian had to come in and sort of match the pacing that I did, and then I went back for pickups and recorded matching Ian at that point. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was something different, and it's always nice when Jerry gets to be in a different place, mentally, emotionally. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. And my next question is for Sarah. Last season, there was a big episode between Beth and Space Beth. Um, and I wanted to ask what it was like voicing the same character, but who feels so different. And then also, how was it essentially having to seduce yourself um, for the show, which was that episode was fantastic. I loved it. So, but how was it actually recording it?
I loved recording that episode. It was really fun. You really record them as two separate characters. So we record all of Beth and then all of Space Beth. And, you know, it was a really fun challenge in general, but in that episode in particular, just finding a way to ground the character both in Beth. So they're both Beth, but they're so unique and they're so different. And Space Beth has so much more of an edge, and Home Beth was always kind of, like wanted to be like Space Beth. And I think that, the scene where they are seducing each other was one of the funnest ones to play. But then like I'm in the booth and I'm like, having to kiss myself, make out with myself. So you're kind of like making all these kissing sounds and trying on her hand and being like, how does this sound? Is this like too much, too little? Someone earlier was asking us what was one of the hardest scenes to get through. Maybe it was just that, like making out with yourself in a booth, trying to make, the sound of Space Beth, Kiss Beth with my hand, on my hand rather. I feel like it's one of the coolest parts of this show, right? Is as an actor, is that you can never predict what's going to be thrown your way, and it's what keeps the job so fun. Um, it it was it was really cool, and I've loved every episode of getting to play Space Beth because she's so much cooler than I am, and much cooler than Home Beth is, and just has such an edge. And so we always record Space Beth second because her voice is a little raspier. So sometimes I'll not like completely lose my voice, but by the end of doing Space Beth, the next day it's like more raspy because she's, lives a little more down here.
That's great. This is for anyone who wants to answer. Throughout the show, there's been some really unhinged moments. I mean, that's kind of what the show's known for. In season 7, was there anything that like surprised you? I mean, for me, after watching all the episodes, probably the Pope ball, I didn't think that that would be a thing. With the Pope being in a Pokeball, but was there anything, even after doing the show for years, is there anything that surprised you in season 7?
I think the spaghetti episode, that was one that was one where we wrote it and the network had to be like, we're not sure we can let you make this episode. And then the head of the network read the script and was like, I'll allow it because the execution is so brilliant. I think you handle it really well, but I don't think most other places would let this one fly. And, that's why it was important to put the messaging before the episode and after. But yeah, it's that one for sure was a tough needle to thread.
It was good though. It was well done. It was unexpected and hilarious. Does anyone else have any moments that they were surprised by in season 7?
I was surprised by the Ice-T episode with the letters and numbers because I didn't know it existed. I wasn't in it, so I never read it. So that was a fun one to see because it was just like, oh, look at this. That's cool. It's a different world,
Yeah, I mean, spaghetti for me too. I mean, I think it's the go-to answer of just, yeah, when I read the script, I was like, this could not be more of a classic Rick and Morty episode, but also how do they make this episode, It was, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The spaghetti episode. It was so well written.
Yeah.
For Sarah, where would you like to see Beth or Space Beth go in future episodes? Some new adventures.
I think I'm so happy that Space Beth has stuck around and that I think it's just cool. I love seeing the dynamic of Space Beth just like in the home and hanging out and chilling with the family. And in future, I mean, yeah, I think one of the funnest things are the character swaps, maybe some more swapping, being in each other's bodies, having to try and thread the needle of playing your character as someone else. Some more merging would be really fun.
Great. Well, I think my time's pretty much up. So I appreciate talking to all of you. And thank you and have a great day.
Thanks. You
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks, Desiree.